Hello everyone, it is time for the second half of the DTM season 2025. Are you ready? We are here at the Nürburgring, the green hell as they call it, and this is what it's all about. Who's going to be the DTM champion 2025? Fact is, the championship is really super tight. We've got 5 drivers, 4 brands, and only 8 points between them. So that is absolutely exciting. And the man who's leading the championship is Lukas Auer, and the man who's actually second in the championship is this guy over here, Jack Aitken. He's the pole setter and only 5 points behind Lukas Auer. So, Jack, you've got a smile on your face, obviously. It's your second pole this season, and hopefully you're going to turn your pole position into a win.
That's the plan. I mean, I have Thierry next to me, which is nice, you know, and even Ben is not far. So it's been a really good performance from Emil Frey. I think we just want to get through turn 1 clean, and then we'll see how the race pace is. I think, you know, anything could happen. At least the weather is looking consistent for once, and we'll have some fun.
Absolutely. And speaking of fun, you did mention that you love the Nürburgring, so hopefully you're going to make this race one to remember.
Yeah, it's always a super special place. I mean, so much history here, and it's always a cool atmosphere, a lot of people here, and it's a nice one to race on also, so looking forward to it.
So thank you so much. Best of luck for the race, Jack. And yeah, it's a legendary track, that's for sure. And now here are the commentators.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Yeah, welcome to the first race there, the second half of the season. We've had 8 races. We've still got 8 to go, including this one today. And following today, we'll be in action in 2 weeks' time at the Sachsenring, next month to the Red Bull Ring, and in October, the season finale with 2 races at Hockenheim. So Lukas Auer, your championship leader coming into this, 109 points he's got. But Jack Aitken, who you just heard from, started the day 4th, but you get 3 points for qualifying on pole, which is, as you've heard, what he did. And so, with that, he moved on to 104 points, shot up to second in the championship, and the gap has been reduced to 5 points, with Thomas Preining on 102 points after his win and second place last time out. 5 drivers at the top of the table covered by just 8 points. As we go back down to the grid and to Verena.
And now I'm here with Thierry Vermeulen. You're starting in P2. You got a smile on your face, obviously. After Nürburgring, you're excited that it's going really well here. And also, it's a hot day, and you just mentioned your fan is not working. So for you, it's going to be a very, very hot race.
Yeah, exactly. It will be hot, but as long as that's the only issues we have, I will keep smiling.
I'm sure. Hopefully see you smiling later on after the race. Now it's full house. What does it feel like here at the Nürburgring? Yeah,
great atmosphere always here. I think this year especially we have a lot of fans, great weather, and of course you enjoy it all even more when it's going well. So yeah, looking forward to the race.
All right, so we thank you so much. Best of luck for the race, and happy sweating, poor guy. But then again, I guess it's the same for everyone because it is really hot. It's sunny, it's hot, but super exciting because Nürburgring really is one of our favorite tracks. So much happening here, and obviously it's always really nice when it's also full house and the people are enjoying it. And the man who's also enjoying himself is Luca Engstler, keeping cool with his blanket and his hat and his shades, looking very cool. Starting in P3, and yeah, how tough do you think will this race be? I mean, obviously you're in a great position.
Hot. Something is wrong. We're at the Nürburgring and it's hot, so I don't know. Will be a long race for sure.
But honestly, you can be glad it's not snowing here, right?
Yeah, but a bit cooler would be okay as well, no?
Tomorrow will be cooler. But now you need to focus on this race. How tough do you think will it be?
Always tough. DTM is always tough, whether you start in the front, midfield or in the back. Just try to have a clean race, but in the end I can take a lot of risk compared to the other boys that fight for the championship. So definitely we'll give it a crack and then see where we're coming out.
All right, best of luck. Thank you so much, Luca, and back to you.
Thanks very much, Verena. Spa 24-hour race winner, Luca Engstler there, who said after qualifying, I don't really like the Nürburgring, but he had a fantastic qualifying, equaling his best of the season. He'll start 3rd on the grid. There's Ben Durr, who swapped McLarens with his teammate for this weekend. So Ben's been driving the new McLaren for this season. Timo Glock has been driving one of last year's cars. Timo's been struggling with that car. They've ordered a brand new one. It won't come in time until probably the penultimate weekend of the season at the Red Bull Ring. So for this weekend, to try and identify the problem, which they've been trying to do for a couple of months now, they've swapped cars, but Ben's still doing very well. He's 7th quickest in qualifying, but he has got a 3-place grid penalty, having been deemed to block in qualifying. Tom Callender in the Mercedes. So I'll start a bit further back, but still a good effort from the young driver in his second season of the championship. One thing to bear in mind, following the race 2 at the Nürburgring, the top 3 have to carry success ballast. They didn't have to do that in qualifying. They do have to do it in the race today. And so Thomas Preining, 3rd in the championship now, won race 2 at the Nürburgring. He'll have 20 kilograms of success ballast on board. Jack Aitken, who starts on pole position and only got pole by 46 thousandths of a second, and was only a few thousandths ahead of 3rd even, Luca Engstler. He has got 10 kilograms of success ballast to carry because he was 2nd in race 2 at the Nürburgring. But also Thierry Vermeulen has got 5 kilograms of success ballast to carry because he was on the podium as well. So that might open the door for 1 or 2 others. I know, speaking to Ben Green this morning, 4th on the grid, equaling his best quali of the year. He was a bit disappointed. He said, I threw a 10th of a second away in the last sector, so I reckon I could have been fighting for pole. So maybe he'll be one to watch. Let's get more with Verena down on the grid.
And now I'm super excited because we've got Turkish power right here at the DTM at the Nürburgring. For once, of course, we have Ayatan Güven, who made history in DTM as the first Turkish driver, winning the DTM. And also we've got you, Toprak. We're so excited to have you as a 2-time Superbike world champion, and also next year you'll be racing in MotoGP, and you two are friends, so that's really exciting. So how exciting are you here? Usually you're on 2 bikes, now supporting the 4 bikes, also because of this guy over here?
Yeah, I'm very excited because this is for me the first time in DTM race, and I'm come just for Ayhan Can for the sport, and I'm really excited. He's today not is good starting, maybe P15, but I believe him in the race. He's make very special things, but we will see. You know, I'm just excited, just waiting the race.
We're excited as well, and obviously it's a good omen to have your friend over here, and we've seen you before, so from P15 hopefully you can speed all the way to the front, who knows?
Yeah, last year here we did something big from the back, so yeah, for sure not ideal to start from here. This is what I don't want, but it happened, so we go forward, and also special to have Toprak to supporting me, so hopefully I give a good show.
Absolutely, and you said it's the first time here at the DTM, and looking around, full house, the sun shining. I mean, how much are you enjoying it so far?
At first I say I'm very surprised at this weather because I'm always see Germany the rain, and this is very good the weather, and I see the many people, many fans watching this race because this is for me the first time. But yeah, this is good for good show for everyone. You know, why I am here. You know.
Absolutely, and believe me, we're surprised the sun is shining as well, right? And we know what we're talking about. We're lucky it's not snowing, raining, or a thunderstorm. So,
Or fog.
Fog is a good one as well. All right, so giving it your best for this race.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, best of luck. Enjoy, and yeah, we're excited to go racing, so let's do this. Let's go racing, and here are your commentators. Enjoy this one. Bye-bye.
Great stuff. Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Yeah, Ayhan Can now 2-time winner in the DTM, and following up that win, that historic win at Oschersleben with another victory at Zandvoort. 15th on the grid, but speaking to his dad, Hakan, before we came into the commentary box, he was saying, yeah, what you saw in qualifying was why he's down on the grid. He was on a really, really good lap, first 2 sectors, Ayhan Can, and then 3rd sector, he came up to an absolute ton of traffic and got held up and lost several tenths of a second coming out of the last corner. So he'll be one to look pushing forward if he can. Some images of drivers on the grid. There is Tommy Preining, the Austrian 2023 DTM champion, who went from 9th up to 2nd in the championship with his win and 2nd place at the Nürburgring last time out. 3rd in the championship after qualifying. Jordan Pepper a bit lower down the grid than he would like, but he's still going to be a factor in the top 10, picking up his maiden win last time out at the Nürburgring. And Maro Engel, who's celebrating this weekend his daughter Sophia's birthday with a special livery and special message on his car. She was 7 yesterday, so happy birthday to Sophia. She'll be cheering Dad on and telling him she expects a podium, which is what she normally says from Maro. Maro, who finished on the podium twice here last year. There's Jules Gounon, who's just outside the top 6 in the championship. There is Ben Green, who picked up his best result of the season to date in his first year of DTM when he finished 6th at the Nürburgring a few weeks back. And there is Luca Engstler, who has also been winning races in the GT World Challenge alongside Jordan Pepper with the Grasser Racing team. Thierry Vermeulen has had 2 poles, one last year, one this year. He hasn't won from either of them. Can he get a win from slightly further back on the grid? Well, if he's going to do it, he's going to have to beat this man. Jack Aitken, the driver that starts the race from pole. Welcome then to the Nürburgring, the 5th weekend of DTM 2025. We're in the Eifel region of Germany, not too far from the Belgian border, and this low mountain range which spans across into Belgium. There's the Nürburg Castle that you can see from the drone pictures. This beautiful area surrounded by woodland and forests, rolling hills and low mountains. This is a special place, next of course to the Nordschleife, which was first opened in 1927. But the track we're using is the sprint version of the more modern Grand Prix facility. DTM has been coming here since 1984. We've had 42 races at this circuit in the DTM and 24 different race winners. It's usually wide open. It's 3.6 kilometers long. This was one of the highlights of last year, a battle on Sunday between Sheldon van der Linde, the 2022 champion, and Maro Engel, who was trying to win the 2024 championship in the Mercedes. They hustled each other for lap after lap after lap. Maro starting the race from pole position. It was his only pole of the year. But then this happened as René Rast came out of the pits. Maro Engel tried to go around the outside of him. Rast on cold tyres, understeered, made contact. Engel got going again, but could only finish second. And the winner last year was the 2022 champion on Sunday, Sheldon van der Linde. So that's the sort of excitement we can expect to see, particularly on the run down towards the first sector, where they go hard on the brakes from 250 kilometres an hour, standing on them down to just 70 kilometres an hour first gear, and through the AMG Arena section, where there is a huge crowd gathered in the grandstands looking to watch the sparks fly in this second half of the season. So this is how they're going to line up in reverse order. And on his 24th birthday today, Nicolas Bart is going to start 24th in the Aston Martin. Tom Callender alongside. Maurice Skuring starts 22nd. Gilles Magnus with a 5-place grid penalty from last time at the Norris Ring is next. Then it's Fabio Scherer, Mirko Bortolotti, the reigning champion. Max Powell 18th. Arjun Maini 17th, having picked up Ford's best result of the season at Norris Ring. René Rast and Ernst Guin up next. Then Marco Wittmann, who's had 2 wins here in the past, and Timo Glock with his best start of the year. Nicky Tim is 12th. Ricardo Feller in the Audi starts 11th. With a 3-place grid penalty, Ben Durr is 10th. Tommy Preining 9th. Then it's Jordan Pepper in 8th. Maro Engel starting 7th. Jules Gounon 6th. The championship leader, Lucas Auer, starts 5th. Then it's Ben Green 4th, Luca Engstler 3rd, and on the front row of the grid, Thierry Vermeulen and Jack Aitken. So that's the way they will line up for 55 minutes plus 1 lap of racing, with the mandatory pit stop to come in the middle portion of the race once 20 minutes have elapsed. So if you're a fan of Italian cars, you're looking forward to this, because Italian cars are 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the grid. Let's see how it all unfolds. My name's Chris Hartley, and alongside me here at the Nürburgring in the commentary box, good afternoon to Brian Oliver.
Good afternoon, Chris. Good afternoon, everybody watching around the world. We know a lot of people watching in a lot of countries. There's a lot of people here in the grandstands as well. It took us ages to get to the commentary box just now. They are about to be entertained. The question is, are Jack Aitken and Thierry Vermeulen going to work together as teammates on that opening lap, or is it every man for himself? I could probably predict the answer to that one, but Ben Green must be rubbing his hands together because he doesn't have that success ballast on board that the front row starters do. But of course, Luca Engstler in there as well, and he will certainly be looking for an opportunity to take another win in the DTM. It's all going to unfold in just a few minutes. It's all set to be very exciting.
Yeah, as I've said, one of the great things about the Nürburgring is just how hard to read it is in terms of brands that go well, teams that go well, drivers that go well. It's very mixed up, and it always has been, with, as I say, 24 different winners from 42 races here. As we get the Start Your Engines board held aloft by Pauline Schaefer. And as a gymnast, you'll be able to hold that up there for ages, I reckon, with those muscles. So we'll keep that going for as long as we can, see how she can cope with it. And then the grid will be cleared. There's just how many people we've got in the grandstands. We had well over 60,000 people here last year. To me, it feels busier this year. Of course, the weather, which is most un-Nürburgring-like, is definitely helping. It's going to be pretty nice tomorrow as well, if the forecast is to be believed. The positive thing here for Emil Frey Racing and Ferrari fans, you've got a front row lockout. They've never particularly gone well here in the past, as Ben Green pointed out to me, and actually Jack Aitken's never been on the podium. His best so far, a 5th place.
Countdown for leading car 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leading car, go.
Sven Stopper, the race director, then gives us the 10-second countdown to the green flag lap. They'll make their way around one lap of this circuit. Last chance to get the eye in. 3.6 kilometres around the lap, and then it'll be the rolling start, 55 minutes plus 1 lap of racing. Can extend that by up to 2 joker laps if laps are lost to a safety car. The mandatory pit stop window will open 20 minutes into the race, when there's 35 minutes left to go, and you cannot make a mandatory pit stop if the race is under safety car conditions or a full course yellow. Couple of drivers that I spoke to that are expecting to be higher up the order and looking to come through, but it's still going to be a challenge. One is Maurice Skuring. He said we had some issues with the car in qualifying, which we were driving around. So that's why Maurice has been going well lately in the third of the Manthey Porsches. The orange machine is towards the back of the grid. He said, but we think we've got it sorted now. And then Max Powell as well. So we just didn't quite optimise the setup. And also, he said, and he's always honest, Max Powell, I made a couple of mistakes as well, so we could have been higher up, but we didn't pull it together, and it's our fault. But I'm hoping, he said, that we can come forward in the race. I asked if you like the Nürburgring. Max, of course, said yes, and I said particularly when it rains, right? Because that's the place where he got his first, and so far only winning the DTM here at the Nürburgring as a guest driver for Grasser a few years back, going from 14th to 1st in the wets. Ain't going to rain today, though, Brian. It's perfect conditions.
Oh, now you've done it. Probably foggy by the end. So the car's on their formation lap, generating heat into the tyres and into the brakes. From the start-finish line, it's about 250 metres into turn 1.
Check, remember procedures, and have a good race.
So the drivers need to make sure they've got the grip and the stopping power when they arrive that very tricky turn 1 in just a few moments.
None of our top 4 drivers on the grid have ever finished on the podium here. Well, of course, Ben Green won't have, because it's his first season. Jack Aitken's had a 5th. Luca Exler 2 years ago had a 6th. Thierry Vermeulen has had a 7th. So let's see. We could get somebody different winning here. We've had 6 different winners so far this season. 6 different drivers on pole and 12 different drivers on the podium. It's another wide open season of DTM. Here we go then. The safety car has peeled in. You're on board with Luca Exler coming out of the final turn. There's the Dorint Hotel to the left. And there is the start-finish line. So Jack Aitken and Thierry Vermeulen on the front row of the grid. To the left of your picture, that's Jack Aitken, the British driver, second in the championship. As the race gets underway, the lights go green, and we charge towards the first corner. It looks like a good start for Aitken and for Vermeulen. Engstler's trying to squeeze up the inside if he can. Ben Green's trying to come around the outside. Contact between Engstler and Vermeulen. Engstler's for now got second. Vermeulen's dropping back out wide in the red Ferrari. Goes Ben Green. That gives him the inside line. We've got Lucas Auer trying to storm around everybody. He's already third. He might be second in a moment, but he goes way off the track. So it's Aitken side by side for second. We've got a pile up behind one of the Lamborghinis that got caught up in that. Rennie Rast, Tom Callender, one of the Aston Martins, Fabio Scherer with the onboard camera into a spin as well. So the back end of the pack all in dramas on that run into turn 2. It's still side by side for second, but Auer's dropped back as they turn off the Grand Prix circuit. Engstler's there, and it's Ben Green who ends up in third place as Jules Gounod takes a trip onto the grass. He's side by side with Maro Engel as they battle for 6th place in the 2 Mercedes, but the blue and gold car of the German driver Engel, a Nürburgring 24-hour race winner, gets in there. Contact then further back.
Vermeulen, I think.
Thierry Vermeulen getting out of the gravel trap, trying to, does so. There's damage to Jules Gounod as well. He's losing places. So all very ferocious stuff. He's still behind Maro Engel. Maro Engel diving up the inside of Jordan Pepper. More contact at the chicane. What they had for breakfast this morning? Too much sugar, I think. Absolutely carnage out there in the first lap of this race. Thomas Pryning with the onboard camera going a bit wide, maybe losing positions. He's had a pretty good start to the race. But at the end of the first lap of the race, it's Aitken that stays out of trouble to lead by just under a second. Exler second, Green third, Auer fourth. Engel 5th, Jordan Pepper with a good start up to 6th place. Likewise, Ricardo Fell, a good start up to 7th. There's Ben Durr trying to come through as well. He's 8th. Thomas Pryning is down to 9th with that move. Marco Wittmann rounding out the top 10 after a chaotic first lap.
We've got no fog here at the Nürburgring, but there's plenty of red mist as Jordan Pepper is the next to go wide on the corner. Ayhan Guin in downtown Nürburg, I think. A very wild, and now Guin goes spinning as well. Maurice Schuring, teammate, getting involved there, but not many cars surviving that opening lap without any damage. Certainly the front runners are okay. Luca Engstler, safety car is out. Luca Engstler gave Thierry Vermeulen as much of a squeeze as he dared into turn 1, but it was all pole kicking off behind. So much damage to so many cars. I think we need the safety car just to calm everybody down.
Yeah, the replay operator at the ready in the OB truck. Yeah, the Lamborghini that got caught up in that lap 1 incident was Mirko Bortolotti. I'd seen that he hadn't come through at the end of lap 1. And so that's a second consecutive retirement. Up until race 2 at the Nürburgring, he's had 25 races in the points consecutively.
No, he destroyed my car, so I have to come in. I don't know what's happening, but on the left rear I have either a puncture or something is wrong.
It was like a puncture from this angle, left rear, and so Mirko hasn't even been able to get back to the pits. And Guin coming together with his teammate at the start of lap 2 as they went through the AMG arena. Maurice Guin kept going, but the Turkish driver has not been able to. There's bodywork everywhere, and there are lots of frustrated drivers out there that have been involved in incidents and lost places, particularly that second half of the field, which all squeezed and concertinaed up through the first run through the AMG arena. Then it happened kind of again on the second run through there at the start of lap 2. So safety car ready to pick up Jack Aitken, who leads from Luca Engstler, who was really getting stuck in at the start of that race, wasn't he? Him and Ben Green and Lucas Auer were together and swapped places time and time again. Maro Engel has had a decent start up to 5th place. Jordan Pepper has come up to 6th. Bender is back where he started, or should have started now, in 7th. He qualified 7th. Had a 3-place grid penalty. He's back to 7th. Then it's Marco Wittmann, then Ricardo Fellert, then Nicky Tim, and Thomas Preining, we saw fighting for 9th place, has ended up down in 11th. Right, let's unpick some of this. Let's get one of many, I reckon, replays from that first lap of the race. Yeah, and the race is going to be stopped. Red flag has just come up on the timing screen. So this was the charge into turn 1. Circuit furniture destroyed already before they got into the first corner. And then a great battle going on for 2nd, 3rd and 4th positions. Further back, though, was about to be where it all unfolded for several drivers. That was Fabio Scherer lighting up the back tyres. Where there was contact there, the back end of the car went around. We're hearing there's oil on the track and a lot of bodywork, a lot of carbon bodywork, which is why the red flags come out. That was the incident that took 4 cars out wide and sent Mirko Bortolotti into a very early retirement. You see that from Fabio Scherer. Fabio got involved in that as well. I don't think he was involved in the incident so much as just in the wrong place there, right behind it. Reaction from the fans and some of them supporting drivers there, I reckon, that got involved in that, looking very disheartened and head in hands. So the red flags come out. It was a dramatic first lap and a bit. Safety car came out, and then the red flags because of the oil and bodywork shard issues that we've got on track.
Well, we've had the summer break. I think they're all a bit eager to get going. I have a feeling that race director Sven Stopper might be calling an extraordinary drivers briefing after this, because I think there's a book to be thrown at a few of the drivers. As I said earlier, I don't think there are many cars that survived without some kind of damage, but certainly Jack Aitken, he did well to get out of there and get clear of it all. Luca Engstler, a solid 2nd place. Ben Green will be really happy jumping up into a podium position. Lucas Auer, always solid there as well, but behind a lot of drivers, a lot of favourites for the championship out of position as we look again at some of the replays. Certainly Jules Gounon was heavily involved, and it was he who looked to get together with Thierry Vermeulen. He had further dramas further along the track, but this was on board. This is that moment, a little tag, and then a double hit, and he damaged his own car doing that as Vermeulen went spinning off into the gravel trap and then into the chicane. He had a bit of a wild ride as well, but it was a traffic jam in front of him. There is Thomas Preining cutting across the chicane. Jules Gounon also going straight on, and then there was Ayan Guin getting a little bit wild as well. But just surviving that first lap, that is a win in itself. Yeah,
Preining straight on at the chicane because there's no way of getting through the corner. Yeah. It was filled. There were 3 cars abreast, so had to go through there. They ended up having a bad run because of that, coming out of the last corner and then lost position. Jules Gounon tried to recover, then just gave a little tap to the back of Ayan Guin's green Porsche. That was Timo Glock flying through on one side and the orange Porsche of Maurice Skewing on the other side. This is how it looked with Thomas Preining. So his exit speed is compromised. Dirty tyres then on the way into the next corner, which is why he then goes wide on the way into the final turn. There's Hakan Guin, Ayan's dad, saying, what is going on today? A very proud dad this year with the lack of, well, less bad luck that Ayan has had this year. He's still had bad luck. He seems to have had loads of bad luck in previous years.
Sure, and he got together with him.
Yeah, skewering understeered into his teammate. Guin was way off the circuit. Look, rejoins. So in fairness to Morris, that green car wasn't there when he looked at the line. It came from off the circuit, because not the only driver to do it, but Engine going way off the circuit. And the reason he went off the circuit was he was trying to avoid Jules Gounon, he'd been having a battle with. And yeah, in fairness to Maurice Scuring, when he went into that corner, there was no Porsche there, and then suddenly it appeared because Engine was trying to get back onto the circuit. So slightly unlucky there, I would say. All the results of what had been triggered before, really.
And he did all that he could to get out of the way. You saw the back end of the car stepping out as he tried to duck to the inside.
Right, Vereena's got a lot to unpick there. We'll go down and catch up with her for some news.
And I'm now here with Martin Tomczyk. Martin, you just saw the slow-mo. How would you say what exactly happened with Mirko Bortolotti?
Well, obviously, I didn't see the scene where Mirko was involved, so I can't really say anything at the moment. He said he got a hit and the car spun, and obviously then liquid went out of his car, the water temperature went high, and the engine stopped. That's the reason why he couldn't move anymore, and we had to retire his car.
Unfortunately, absolutely. And now, what's your guess? How long do you think? It doesn't say yet, right?
Doesn't say yet. Race director said there's oil on track, so if it is like that, then they have to clean it. So at least I would say 20 to 25 minutes.
All right, Martin. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thanks, Vereena. He's always really gracious with his time, isn't he, Martin Tomczyk? Former DTM champion, twice a winner here at the Nürburgring. So René Rast and Mirko Bortolotti, two champions involved in that, coming together. And a real sad sight, Mirko walking away, and still struggling to get that Lamborghini working at its very best, the ABT team, and it's really a consequence of qualifying lower down the order, much lower down the order than he's normally used to, Mirko Bortolotti. 20th on the grid, and when you're in the last third of the field of the grid, that's where it will get squeezed up. That's where things can go very wrong very quickly on the first lap of the race. So it's kind of been a symptom of that in the last couple of rounds, that he's had these back-to-back retirements. Yeah, and you can see that trail of oil and fluid there as the marshal just checking what exactly it is, but they're going to need to treat that if it's oil, or indeed apparently if it's water, because there's all sorts of slippery stuff mixed in with it. So we've got a bit of a clean-up operation going. There's an old saying, you can't win a race on the first lap, but you can certainly lose it. Well, that is certainly a point to prove here as we look at the Timo Glock car being worked on as well. There's that damage to Jules Gounon. We saw him picking that up early on. And I think most of the cars, certainly towards the back of the pack, with, well, it's out with the gaffer tape, isn't it? And that's exactly what's happening here. Gaffer tape city here at the Nürburgring. Yeah, incident involving car 1, which is Mirko Bortolotti, and car 64 reported to the steward. So that's Fabio Scherer. So although on that replay we saw that there was contact between the Lamborghini of Mirko and the BMW of René Rast, they're looking at Fabio Scherer as being involved in that incident as well. Back to the grid, back to Vereena.
And I'm here with Jules Gounon. Jules, there was an incident with Mirko Bortolotti. I think your car was kind of also involved. Can you talk us through? Do you know what happened?
No. Me, I got involved in 2 incidents. The first incident is somebody, I don't know, spun Thierry Vermeulen in front of me, and then I could not go anywhere, so I think I hit him. Lost 10 spots, I think, in this. And then there was a lot of oil on the track, and I nearly hit Ayashan Guven, so it was really crazy. So it's a good call from the race control to put red flag, because there's oil all over the track. I don't know who was losing oil. But yeah, but very unlucky for my side, because I just got an incident, the car spinning in front of you. What can you do? Either you go left or right. I went left because there was a car next to me, and now my front is destroyed. I hope I can race, I don't know. As you have seen, the front is dead, so let's see.
Okay, so we will see. We're just going to have a look at your front also to check that out. But obviously it's really unfortunate. The mechanics are already trying to work on it, trying to fix it. But what's your guess? What did they say? What do you think?
Well, I have the best mechanic in the world, that's for sure. But look at the damage done. So for sure my car will be not the best one for the race, but we need to try to score points. And yeah, let's see. I hope I can do something about it. But today I could not do anything about that. So.
Okay, crossing our fingers for you, Jules. Thank you very much. Back to you.
Thanks, Vereena. Yeah, so Jules Gounon confirming there that there was no contact. It was, from his point of view, the Ferrari just losing it in front of him, nowhere to go, and then contact as a result of that. There's Timo Glock off the back of his best qualifying of the year so far, 13th star yesterday of free practice 2, which topped the times. And the driver that back in 2020 finished 5th in the DTM, back in the Class 1 era in the championship, the former Grand Prix racer, looking much more positive so far today. Right, more news from Verena.
And I'm here with Thierry. Thierry, it started so well, and now unfortunately this big incident. From your point of view, what exactly happened and how big is the damage on your car?
Well, yeah, we're in a tricky situation, turn 6, 7. Like, I tried to fend off a bit the outside, and then one Merc came from off track back onto the track and hit me on the right rear. I didn't see the footage, so yeah, that was from my experience how I felt it. Yeah, we have a little bit of damage on the aero on the rear, but yeah, let's see.
But you think you can continue the race? You think it's going to be okay? It's not too bad?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Thank you very much, Thierry. Back to you.
Yeah, very frustrating. I wouldn't mind seeing another replay of that Vermeulen incident, because from the onboard of Gunon, just in the right of the picture, it looked like there was a third car involved in that. That sort of tallies with what Thierry was saying there. A Mercedes, he was saying, rejoined from off the circuit, and I got a clip, and then Jules Gunon saying, well, it wasn't me, it was another car. So it was all going on. But the end result is that Thierry Vermeulen has dropped down to 21st place. Should have started. Or should have been up there, of course, battling for the lead of the race. Right, let's get a replay of the start. And it was a great, perfect start for Aitken, wasn't it? Engstler, really good start in the gold and white. TGI, Grassa Lamborghini, battling for second place with Vermeulen, and Green was trying to go around the outside. This an onboard view then on the charge down towards the first corner with the championship leader, who's starting 5th on the grid, Lucas Auer. And they can see to the right of the picture, Luca Engstler going for it down the inside. Bit of rubbing there, gets past one Ferrari, doesn't quite get past another. Let's get some more from Verena.
And I'm here with Arjun Maini. It's your home race. I mean, not very good start into the race. From your view, what happened? And I see a bit of damage on your car, but it's not too bad?
It's quite bad, but let's see. I mean, the pace didn't feel too bad in the opening laps, even with it. It was just a crazy start, like where it was like 4 or 5 wide into T1. I got touched a bit on the side, and then I lost control of the car and couldn't stop anymore. Went into someone else, and then like the whole lap was crazy with the oil. Anyways, I guess it was quite entertaining, but it was quite crazy from in the car.
It looked very crazy. All right, thank you, Arjun. Best of luck when we continue racing. Back to you.
Thanks very much. Yeah, Arjun Maini, 5th at the Norris Ring with Ford's best results of the season so far. It's returned to the DTMs for the first time since the mid-1990s. HRT, one of the local teams here, like Manthey, based just at the back of the circuit on the business park, a stone's throw from the entrance to the track. Lots of guests and support here, and Hubert Haupt's team doing a very good job with the very experienced Uli Fritz getting that Mustang quickly up to pace this season, but in the wars of it today for Arjun Maini. Right on board with Fabio Scherer and his viewpoint. See, I'm not sure Fabio was involved in that Mirko Bortolotti René Rast incident. He was behind it, but I'm not sure that there was contact from him from that angle. It looks like he was a couple of meters back. There was the incident, another view of it between Gunon and Vermeulen, and yeah, and Maro Engel, I think, was involved there as well, so maybe Maro involved in that too. More from Verena.
And I'm here with Lucas Auer, the championship leader. You started in P5 now after this crazy beginning of the race. You're now starting in P4. And I mean, it's a tough one out there. Luckily, you were not involved in the incident. So now ready to go racing again, hopefully soon?
Yes, actually my start was quite all right. And let's see, I expect the Ferraris to be very fast in the race. But if we can keep it in the top 5, should be good.
And I guess also it's pretty interesting to see how in this year the championship is so super tight. I mean, it's 5 guys, 4 brands, and only 8 points between the two. So it's getting more and more exciting, and also at this point a bit more anxiety, or not yet at this point?
Still a bit too early, but as you said, it's very exciting. A lot of teams, drivers, manufacturers involved, and let's see, it should be an exciting one.
All right, well, have a good race, Luki. Thank you so much. Back to you.
Thanks, Verena. Luca Sauer, the championship leader, runner-up in the championship in 2022, finished behind Sheldon van der Linde that year, and it's his 11th season of the DTM now. He started back in 2015, 10 years ago, and in his debut season, he managed to get his maiden pole position in the DTM at this very circuit 10 years ago. He's only had one win in the DTM at the Nürburgring, and that was back in 2017, but he has had a second and a couple of third places as well. He's also had 3 pole positions here. Of the current grid of drivers, there are only 2 of them that have had more than 1 race win here. Marco Wittmann with 2, and his teammates at Schubert Motorsport, René Rast, the 3-time champion, with 3 wins. So there's Jules Gounon looking to get back into the race when we get going again, and down on the grid we can get more from Verena Riet.
And I'm here with Jack Aitken, started in pole position, still in pole position, so you did a really good job just keeping out of the whole craziness of this race.
Yeah, it looked like there was quite a lot happening behind. It was not a nice surprise on the second lap, seeing all the oil there, so yeah, right decision to red flag, and hopefully it's all clean now.
Well, best of luck for the rest of the race as soon as we get started. Thank you, Jack, and back to you.
Great stuff. Thanks very much to our roving reporter down there on the grid, getting us loads of feedback from the drivers. Verena, great job, and Jack Aitken there, who will restart from first place. They'll stay in the order they were before the red flags came out. We'll have 1 lap behind the safety car when we get going again, and then a single file restart with Aitken first, Engst the second, Green third, Auer fourth, Engel will be 5th, Pepper 6th, Durr 7th, Wittmann 8th, Feller 9th, Preining in 10th, then Tim 11th, Rast 12th, Miney 13th, Powell 14th, Glock 15th, Callender 16th. Gounon will try and fight back up from 17th if the car is working with that battered front end. Bart up to 18th on his birthday, Skuring 19th, Magnus 20th in the other Aston. Vermeulen will be one to watch, only 21st in the Ferrari that was quick enough to just miss out on pole position. Fabio Scherer will restart 22nd. And then we lost out of the order Gouin and Bortolotti. So it looks, Brian, like we're about to get things back underway.
And I think everybody will breathe a sigh of relief that we're starting in single file. Just calm everything down for a bit. So we're just over 2 minutes away. So now the drivers getting ready. So we'll have certainly at least 1 lap behind the safety car, maybe more than that, just while they get the track cleaned up. But a big thanks to all the marshals around the circuit who work incredibly hard for cleaning that up so quickly. There was an awful lot of debris, you saw it, and a lot of oil as well. But we are getting ready to go in about 1 minute and 3/4.
Yeah, exactly right. So the grid now clear, drivers back in the cars, ready to go. And let's see what Luca Engstler can do. He's a double race winner in the DTM and got his first win in the DTM at Oschersleben at the start of last season. Won at the end of the season as well, the very last race of 2024, where Mirko Bortolotti at Hockenheim was crowned champion. It was Luca Engstler that won the race. And Jules Gounon's front end isn't the only one that's got a ton of gaffer tape on it, because the Ford Mustang of Arjun Miney likewise has had a bit of a repair job done on it.
Gaffer tape central. And there's a few little gaps on the grid there as well. Obviously, we will slot into single file in a moment when we get going. You saw there that no further action between Aitken Gouin and Maurice Schuring when they got together. The stewards quite rightly looked at that and saw that there was no fault there. But now the instruction is given, as was the case about 25 minutes ago, to get the engines running and start this race once again.
50 minutes and 56 seconds plus 1 lap to go. If it's anything like the first 4 minutes, you better sit down and try to relax, because that was absolute chaos. Normally the first day back at school, everybody's a bit lethargic, aren't they? In terms of you've had the summer holidays and you go back to school as a school kid. It's all a bit slow, isn't it, for the first couple of days, and the teacher's struggling to get your attention. No such thing in the DTM. After the summer break, they've all come back raring to go, maybe a bit too raring to go, based on what we just saw. Lost count of how many cars went off the track and then came back on the track through that sector at turns 1, 2, and particularly at turn 3. That really has been the trigger point. It's the slowest bit of the circuit, Brian, but that's where all the carnage has happened, isn't it?
Yeah, and a lot of drivers just seeing it as the opportunity to make that jump, and that's where you get one car into another, and the car behind that will see that as an opportunity. You end up with 3, 4 abreast, and with the kind of dramas that we saw But it'll be a lot more sensible next time around, honest, because they'll be in single file and it'll be Jack Aitken who will lead them away. So the cars are now rolling. And this is an important lap because not only will the tyres have all gone cold, so they'll be trying to generate heat into the tyres, into the brakes, but also the opportunity to explore where the traction is, because there may well be slippery parts of the track, just to make sure that when they arrive at racing speed, they will have some grip.
So we mentioned the success ballast from the top 3 from the Nürburgring. Hang on to that thought. Here's René Rast.
We have a message from race control that René needs to drop behind Glock, car number 16. So Rast needs to drop behind 16. The field is moving. So for the restart, Rast behind Glock.
Yeah, I did wonder about that, because just before the race was brought to a halt, Rast had obviously got involved in that incident with Bortolotti and was on the timing screen when he came past at the end of the first lap, way down the order, with only about 3 or 4 cars behind him. Then when they stopped, he'd been put back up the order to 12th place. So he's been told to give positions back. That's why. And we've got a penalty lap 3 times for car number 24, which is the Mercedes, the win-win Mercedes of Maro Engel. That, I suspect, is to do with contact with Thierry Vermeulen. So that was the car that was rejoining. He was having a big old battle before that, wasn't he? Particularly with Jules Goulon. So that was where the contact, the stewards are saying, has come from. And that's going to rather ruin Maro's race with 3 visits to the penalty box, which is on the exit to turn 1. He'll have to go through it at 50 kilometres an hour. It's 150 metres long. It'll cost him 15 seconds. So plummet down the order. Right, safety car goes in at the end of that 1 lap. So single file restart. The Ferrari of Aitken leads the race back into action with Exler second in the Lamborghini. Then the Ferrari of Green, the British driver looking for his first DTM podium. Then the Mercedes of the championship leader, Lucas Auer. And at the moment, the next Mercedes is Maro Engel, but he's going to plummet down the order. And so Jordan Pepper is, without doing anything, going to move up to 5th place, having a pretty good start to the race here after a slightly off-colour qualifying. There's that penalty zone to the right, and sure enough, drivers will get used to going through that, I reckon, in this race, because there might be, keep driving like that, more penalties in it, and Maro Engel's definitely got to go through it, we know, 3 times. So the best place to be in this race is where Jack Aitken is, 1st position, away from all the trouble. He's had a good start as he gets on the brakes and turns right through turn 5 at Goodyear and a 2nd gear and 80 kilometres an hour. By the time he gets to the next turn at turn 6, he'll already be up to 170 kilometres an hour.
That was a bit more sensible, wasn't it? So we are back underway. Ben Green was looking pretty eager on the back of Luca Engstler, and now Lucas Auer has pulled up behind him as well. So he's going to have to weigh up whether he makes a challenge on that 2nd place, if he's able to, without losing a position to Lucas Auer behind him. Of course, the field all bunched up at the moment, apart from Jack Aitken with clean air in front of him. He's already opened up a fairly decent gap at the front. Luca Engstler having to defend quite hard.
Yeah, and the new race distance will be 55 minutes plus 2 laps.
Don't worry about Maro, he has 3 penalty laps. Maro has 3 times penalty lap.
Don't worry about Maro, they say to Lucas Auer, because of these penalty laps. They, of course, are teammates and reigning champions of the GT World Challenge. Look at this, Luca Engstler versus Ben Green. Eyes on the mirrors, eyes looking out of the windows. It's Ben Green that's got the inside line and dives through into 2nd place at turn 1 at the end of that 1st lap of the restart. So Ferrari 1-2 now. Green going great guns up to 2nd. And as I said earlier, he was a bit disappointed with 4th place, as through the penalty zone for the first time goes that blue and gold Mercedes of Maro Engel. Plummets down the order. He's got to do it twice more as well. Ben Green thought he could have perhaps been at least battling for pole position had he not lost a 10th of a second on his hot lap through qualifying. So it's not a massive surprise to see him charging up there. Remember, no success ballast on his car. There's Thomas Priding. Before we got sidetracked with the René Rast incident, I was about to say he's got that success ballast that he's carrying because of the win last time out, 20 kilograms, but also BOP have awarded an extra 10 kilograms to the Porsches of BOP ballast. So that car is 30 kilograms heavier than it was at the Nürburgring. They've got 20 more kilograms of BOP ballast on the Porsches than they had at this race last year. So don't expect Thomas Priding to be charging through the order in this race. They'll just be looking to try and score some points with all that weight on the car.
think the Ferraris might have a bit of a revision overnight as well. Ben Green's already left Luca Engstler in his wake. He timed his braking to perfection into turn 1. A nice late brake, but he slowed it down enough to not leave himself vulnerable on the inside. So great job from Ben Green as he sets about after Jack Aitken. Emil Frey Racing 1 and 2. Luca Engstler in that third place. There's Arjun Maini heading into turn 1. The gaffer take doesn't seem to have slowed him down too much. To remind you, the Mustangs won in the GT Masters here a few weeks back, as we see Mauro Engel taking another of his penalty laps. But the Mustangs have proven to be very quick around here, and Arjun Maini, despite the gaffer tape, challenging Nicky Tim in front of him.
Yeah, so Jack Aitken 1.8 seconds clear of Ben Green. Ben Green already over a second clear of the third place car of Luca Engstler, and then just over half a second back to Lucas Sauer in fourth place. Jordan Pepper fifth. Ben Durr going great guns in sixth place. Ricardo Feller, Marco Wittmann next up. Wittmann slowly going about, well, not slowly, quickly going about his business, isn't he? But sneaking through the order from 14th to 8th for the two-time DTM champion. So Marco in the big green BMW up to 8th. Nicky Tim's up to 9th place. And Arjun Maini, despite the walking wounded in terms of the way the Mustang looks, doing a good job there in 10th place.
Jack Aitken continues to stretch his legs. Well, 1.4, so actually Ben Green is taking 3/10 out of that lead, but certainly the two Ferraris at the front look to be under control. Thomas Preining starting to look a little bit vulnerable to Timo Glock and Rene Rast, who are behind him. So Preining in that 11th place. This is the chicane. They have to build them strong because they don't half attack the curbs. The car's going up onto two wheels as they bump across at the chicane. They have to be careful. We have had track limits issues on the exit of the chicane during free practice and quali sessions, and so drivers need to keep it between the white lines.
If it stays like this, and there's a very long way to go in this race, Jack Aitken is going to be the championship leader with 25 points for the race win, only 13 points for Lucas Sauer, and there we got Nicky Tim going way, way off the road in the sole remaining at Lamborghini, dropping a ton of places as a result of that. We've been left behind with the rear-facing onboard camera of Rene Rast there, and slotting in behind the Lamborghini of Max Powell. So Tim had a pretty good run up in this race so far. Drops way, way out of the top 10. He had been running up to 9th place, just trying to cover off now. Jules Gounon, who's trying to come up the order, having dropped way down. He's up to 15th place at the start of this lap. So, yeah, it will be, as it stands, 129 points for Jack Aitken and 122 for Lucas Sauer. And Jordan Pepper up to 3rd in the championship on 113. He's going well in 5th place.
Ben Green's taken another 4/10 out of Jack Aitken's lead, so keep an eye on that one. We're looking again from the Rene Rast's perspective as Nicky Tim went a-spinning and he was able to rejoin. He kept it out of the barriers, but AB Sportsline cannot catch a break at the moment.
No, can't tell from that angle. The car that was right behind him going into the corner was the Mustang of Arjun Maini, so was it a spin on his own, or was there maybe contact? It's certainly no evidence from that angle which it was, but I'm not sure that it was absolutely just a mistake from the Danes, so we'll wait and see. But the net result is the same, isn't it? He's tumbled down the order. There's the big green Schubert BMW 2014 and 2016 DTM champion, Marco Wittmann, doing a good job from 14th on the grid up to 8th place, trying to find his way through now. There's a good battle going on between him, Ricardo Feller, who's 3rd in the championship for Abt, as an Audi driver 2 seasons ago, when it's the season finale at Hockenheim with a chance of winning the title. And then just in front of the pair of them is the McLaren of Ben Durr, doing a great job in 6th place at the start of his 2nd season in the DTM. There's Thomas Preining, and there is Timo Glock, doing a pretty good job as well. He's got up to 11th place now, and he's closing in on the 2023 champion and taking with him Rene Rast.
I'm looking at the fight between 1st and 2nd as well. Ben Green has taken chunks out of Jack Aitken's lead. We're down to under 7/10 of a second now and closing. It's a bricked 1-2 in the two Ferraris. So going to be an interesting situation for Emil Frey. What will happen? Because I think Ben Green is going to be up with Jack Aitken. There's another 10th taken out on that lap. So now half a second between 1st and 2nd. They're well clear of Luca Engstler. You can see the gap there. But Ben Green is going to be right up with Jack Aitken. He is the fastest man on the track. The quickest lap of the race so far has been Ben Green at 1:27.357.
big white Mustang of Fabio Scherer, as he went past the commentary box window, was almost underneath the rear wing of Tom Callender, last year's ADAC GT Masters champion. They might not be in the points, but still having a great race, those two. Not far away from the points, a top 15 score, and those two battling over 17th and 18th positions. A decision to be made in terms of who comes in first for Emil Frey, with the pit stops as well, isn't there? And there you can see that Scherer did get through. He's ahead of the Mercedes.
Keep going, pressure on start finish.
So Scherer made the move, I reckon, at turn 1, because he was right underneath, as I said, the rear wing of Callender's Mercedes. So that's up to 17th place now for the Swiss driver in his second season of DTM, several years in between them. And this is how it looked on board. Yeah, he just squeezed up the inside between the Mercedes and the pit wall and got that V8 slowed down hard on the brakes from 250 kilometers an hour down to just 70. Perfectly executed move. So good job done then by Fabio Scherer as he moves towards the points. Not quite there yet. The Ferraris come past the commentary box window. We've got less than 5 minutes to go before the pit window opens. And Emil Frey, Brian, have got to decide who do they bring in first. Aitken in first place or Green in second?
Well, I imagine strategies may have well been laid out before the race, but the race leader normally has the advantage. Timo Glock trying to sell the dummy to Thomas Preining, ducks to the outside. The two cars bounce off each other. I think Preining saw that one coming, fended off that position. Rene Rast closes in on both of them. Now to the outside of Timo Glock. So Rene Rast taking the wide outside, sails past the McLaren, now sets about the Porsche of Thomas Preining. But Glock is coming back as well in the number 16 McLaren.
Clever from Rast. He let them get on with it, didn't he? Sat back, saw them hold each other up and nipped in between them, the three-time champion. But no doubt Timo's going to be loving this. He's had a really, really frustrating return to the DTM so far. Now he's battling with two former champions. That was the contact on the way into the corner. He's trying to get the inside line for the next turn. Preining was having absolutely none of that. Rast, look, just watches it, sits back, waits, and goes, OK, you go out wide, I'll get on the throttle early, and I'll get involved in the next corner. And that's exactly what happened. This was how it looked on board with Rene Rast. And this is why everybody's a three-time DTM champion, because of the racecraft. He's absolutely superb. Just carries the momentum around the outside.
Slow and steady wins the race. Rene Rast says you might be a Formula 1 driver, but I can sort you out. So Rene Rast, always entertaining. That was the thump from the perspective of Thomas Preining as he and Timo Glock bounced off each other into that turn 1. So we are less than 3.5 minutes from the pit window opening, and this is going to be real pressure for the Emil Frey Racing mechanics. They've got a car at the front and a car in second. They need to give them equal treatment.
BMW versus Porsche. Rast tries the inside line this time on the way into the left-hander at turn 2. Preining with all that weight on the car just about fends him off. That's more weight to carry out of the corners, more weight to try and slow down, more wear and tear on the Pirelli tyres and on the brakes as well. So it's going to be a tough race this for Tommy Preining, with that success ballast and the extra BOP weight compared to what he had at Nürburgring and compared to what he had here last year. But Rast isn't able to find a way past as yet as these two battle for 10th and 11th positions. Glock's just fallen off a little bit in 12th. Max Powell is coming up the order as well. And the blue Lamborghini up there for Powell Motorsport. He's catching them up. He's made some positions in this race up to 13th place now. As close as it is between the two Ferraris at the front of the field, it's very similar pace between 3rd and 4th, isn't it? Engstler and Auer close together as the teams get warmed up now, ready for the pit stop window to get those tyres changed, fronts then rears. Hopefully, as Marco Wittmann dies at the inside in less than 7 seconds. This is Wittmann going up the inside of Feller through the final turn. He knows he's got the inside line for the next corner. They go past the commentary box window, absolutely nose to nose. Feller will try and hang around the outside for turn 1 though, because it will give him the inside line. In the background, Rene Rast versus Tommy Preining is one to keep an eye on as well. The Land Motorsport Audi tries to stay on the outside here to have the inside line for the left-hander coming up. There's contact once, there's contact twice, and Feller holds the position. Great driving. He just didn't give it that. He knew he'd have another chance, but he goes a bit wide on the way into turn 3. It's okay though. The Land Motorsport Audi closes the door. Wittmann has to sit behind him again.
I thought he was going to duck back to the inside on the exit of turn 1, but he held it around the wide outside. Great stuff from Ricardo Feller there. Really, really solid driving in that position. So the teams you saw limbering up, so much pressure in a minute and 10 seconds. We saw how much the team makes a difference at the Nürburgring last time out. Very soon they're going to be put to action.
Jugonon is back into the points, 15th. 1 point on the way to him as it stands. Gilles Magnus in the Aston Martin is a point scorer as well now in the DTM. All the drivers have scored points in the championship so far. He's right behind him, but catching them both, the white Mustang of Fabio Scherer will be one to watch, I reckon, because he's got good pace in that Mustang. So 17th, recovering from that spin he had on the initial start. And the Swiss driver looking good at this stage. So over the line goes Jack Aitken, over the line goes Ben Green. He's supposed to be nervous about this, but they're looking forward to it, the teams. Do the stretches, limber up, because you've got to put your muscles and your cool patience and your coordination to the absolute max pressure in these pit stop windows to get a replay. This tremendous battle, and this is only half of it, between Wittmann and Feller. Wittmann had his nose in front. Feller might have a car that's about half the size of the BMW, but he wasn't going to give in. And then behind them, this was happening. Thomas Preining again having to go defensive. Around the outside of him comes René Rast. But then what happens? Because I think Preining was back ahead of him when we saw them. He dives down the inside, just throws caution to the wind and gets the place back.
Brilliant stuff. As far as the Feller-Wittmann battle goes, for one lap, Wittmann was showing as in front because he had his nose in front when they crossed the line. But that did not tell the story, it did it. Our front two, well, Jack Aitken has slowed the progress of Ben Green, or maybe Ben Green has just got as close as he's going to get at the moment. It's holding about 6 to 8 tenths between those two. It's kind of closing and opening on each lap at the moment, but Green very much in contact. But certainly a lot kicking off in the background behind. Luca Exer looking solid in that third place.
In the back of the field, Maro Engel has had 3 visits to the penalty zone, has, slightly ironically, just overtaken Thierry Vermeulen, who was the driver. I think he was called into that penalty 4. So Vermeulen, I think, is struggling with damage because his Ferrari is about a second a lap slower than the 2 Ferraris of his teammates, Aitken and Green, who are first and second in this race. Pit window open then, and they begin to dive in. Ricardo Feller comes in. Arjun Maini comes into the pits as well. It's like Tom Callender, Maro Engel and Thierry Vermeulen are going to come in from lower down the order as well. So 6 can change, work in the pit stop. Only 4 of them can actually touch the wheels. 1 has to look after the lollipop, 1 after the air jack, and the other 4 change the tyres on the cars. So down they go, and that's what it looks like on board with Alvaro Taufrand, who works at HRT, and sends Arjun Maini back on his way. And the pit stop for Arjun Maini, stationary time of 8.2 seconds, quickest one we've had so far. From Winwood, 6.3 seconds for Engel. He needs every second he can get with these penalties that he's had.
Well, Emil Frey have had the warm-up with Thierry Vermeulen. The pressure's going to be on when first or second to come in, because they're both going to have to stop. Arjun Maini's car just about holding together with the gaffer tape. You can see bits flailing, but his pit stop is done and dusted. Still the front bunch yet to come in.
Yeah, and they don't have to do it yet. We've still got the majority of the 20-minute pit window open. Right, here comes Timo Glock. So Rast did finally get past Preining. Now Preining has got to try and fend off the McLaren of Timo Glock. So Rast has got past on this lap, because when they cross the line with Preining ahead of Rast. So Rast up to 9th, Preining down to 10th, then with Glock to try and deal with, and Max Powell, who, as he suggested, is looking pretty racy. It's got more pace than qualifying showed. In comes Jules Gounon. Behind you can see that Fabio Scherer is coming in as well to the pits. They've got to stick to the pit lane speed limit, 60 kilometres an hour, and that's going to feel like they're going absolutely stationary in these rocket ship cars. And Nicola Bart comes in as well, and looking to get into the points for the 2nd time this season. He's on his 24th birthday. Right, this gives you a sense of how you've got to do this. 1 wheel nut to change, rears, then fronts. They are heavy, those wheels, as well. You've got to have the wheel under control at all times in the pits. And that looked pretty good, didn't it? Fabio Scherer is sent away. Actually, not that good. 9.2 seconds, which I know is not slow, but in the context of how good they can be sub 6 seconds with a really good stop. That wasn't ideal. But Jules Gounon's stop was good. 6.1 seconds, best one so far.
We tried to do one of those stops. They had to measure it in minutes and hours, didn't they? But the team, days or years, the team have done a sterling job there. Even 9 seconds, it leaves me absolutely gobsmacked. But the quickest so far is 6.1 seconds for Jules Gounon. So that's the quickest stopper so far. So that's effectively gaining him 3 seconds out on track compared to Fabio Scherer.
And a bit worried about Maro Engel. He's come into the pits. He's already done his mandatory stop. So I think a problem for Maro Engel. As we just saw, Marco Wittmann ahead of Ben Deur. So that's for 6th place through the last corner.
The quickest car on track now.
He gets cheered on by his race engineer, and there you can see he's made it stick at the first corner as well. So Mark having a really strong drive here, looking maybe for his 3rd win around the Nürburgring in DTM, but ahead of the McLaren. That nice move at the final turn. He's good, isn't he, through the last couple of corners in that BMW?
He is, but in fact, on the previous lap, he had set a purple in sector 1. He'd been the quickest of anybody in that sector, so certainly got some pace in that BMW. So 6th place for him. Next up ahead of him is Jordan Pepper, 1.313 ahead of him. And closing, I'd expect. Also closing, Lucas Auer, starting to turn the heat up on 3rd place, Luca Engstler. So Lucas Auer starting to march his way forwards as the very sad sight of Maro Engel retiring from the race. He exits the car.
And he was the driver with the longest streak of point-scoring finishes. Like Mirko Bortolotti at the Nürburgring, he has a retirement off the back of 25 consecutive point-scoring races. But number 26 is not going to be a finish, not even a point-scoring race for him. And Jules Gounon back in the pits as well for a 2nd time. So he's got dramas. We know about the front end of the car as Marco Wittmann dives for the pits. So the leading pit stopper is Ricardo Feller, then Arjun Miney, then Fabio Scherer, and then Tom Callender. And yet, I'm afraid it is a retirement for Jules Gounon, 7th in the championship, and that was the first time this season he didn't score points. 5 drivers coming into today's race had scored points in every race of 2025. 2 of them, Engel and Gounon, out within a lap of each other.
Well, when you look at that first lap of the race, it's not so surprising, is it? Schubert Motorsport have been to work on Marco Wittmann. They release him right in front of Nicky Tim, who stops in exactly the right spot. So Ab Sportsline get to work that right rear, looking a bit sticky, getting it on. Now they go to the front as well. It's off the jacks. He gets moving. So Nicky Tim doing his stop, and that was pretty quick, wasn't it? It was a 9.1, so no, not as quick as they would like.
In fact, Arjun Gounon was another driver that had been in the points in every race this season. He's out as well, so that's 3 of the 5 failing to finish this race. Auer has finished in the points in every race. He's the championship leader coming into this, at least. The other one is Jack Aitken, who might be about to take the championship lead away from him. This, a replay of Lucas Auer going for it into turn 1, down the inside of Luca Engstler in the battle for 3rd place. Did he make it stick on the way into the left-hander? Looks like Mercedes is in the right place to get the line into turn 2. This is how it looked on board with the Austrian. He's one of the last of the late breakers, Lucas Auer. He's so good on the brakes. And yes, he did make it stick. So that is Auer, having been right behind Engstler for the whole of the restart, really. Getting through and ahead and into 3rd place. So with that, Engstler goes, OK, right, change your plan. Maybe change your plan anyway. Into the pits he comes.
And with the fractions of second of the pit stops, he could so easily gain that back. But it's all down to the Grasser team to get that car turned around as quickly as possible, because that'll make all the difference. They rehearse this into the night to make sure it's as smooth as it can possibly be. There's a traffic jam in front. That's Timo Glock and Max Powell, I think, that are just ahead of them. So they're coming also in on their stops coming in. Yes, so now Luca Engstler is released, but has he lost valuable tenths of a second? Pulling out behind them.
Yeah, and a straight race now between the pit crews, because these two are nose to tail coming in, and Powell Motorsport might just get their man out ahead, not quite. Timo Glock by half a car length stays there. Good pit stops from both teams though. The Powell Motorsport crew, that's basically the smallest crew, family-run crew and team in the paddock. And they've had issues in the past with pit stops, but that was a really good effort under pressure. They almost jumped into place.
Brilliant stuff.
Head down and push, buddy. Head down and push.
That's kind of what he does.
And you can see the pit stops there. Max Powell, Powell Motorsport, and Marco Wittmann are the 2 quickest.
All right, we can get some more news from Farina now down in the pits.
Unfortunately, Jules Gounon had to retire, so the damage was too heavy, I guess.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had pretty much high overheating of the car because of what happened with the front. But nothing I could do about it, so it's unfortunate. It's racing. Sometimes you're on the good side, sometimes you're on the unlucky side, which we were today.
But hopefully the mechanics can fix the car for tomorrow.
Yeah, this is okay, no problem. My guys are really good, and hopefully tomorrow we can fight back.
All right, thank you very much, Jules. Back to you.
Well, thanks very much, Farina. Yeah, really unlucky for Jules Goulon. Guess what? The first of the pit stoppers is Riccardo Fella. Guess who's behind him? Right behind him, Marco Wittmann. So those two continue their pre-pit stop battle. There's about half a second between them as they come past the commentary box window with Luca Exler, third of the pit stoppers. So they're both ahead of Exler now.
But look who's the quickest man on the track. Riccardo Fella, as we see Thierry Vermeulen looking to the outside of Maurice Schuring. Quickest lap of the race is now Riccardo Fella. So pacing that out here, 1:27.143. Both he and Wittmann are going to be somewhere near the front runners when this pit window closes.
Yeah, Ben Durer's just left the pits, just behind them, because of course he's on cold tyres, so it'll take him a lap to get them up to temperature, but he'll have fresher tyres at the end of the race. If you qualify in the top 10, you have to start the race on your new tyres, and Ben was one of those drivers. So all sorts of battles going on. Fabio Scherer getting stuck in as well. He's right up there with Tom Callender. They both made their pit stops. And Ben Green now comes into the pit. So from second place, Ben Green in. Issues, I'm afraid, for Come To You Racing with the front left of the Aston of Gilles Magnus, which cost Gilles quite a lot of time, I'm afraid. And so a very sticky pit stop for him. So Ben Green comes in, and also in one of the other front runners in the championship, Jordan Pepper. So Ferrari versus Lamborghini. Emil Frey, the Swiss team, versus the Austrian team, TGI Lamborghini Grasser, and Ben Green will stay ahead, but Jordan Pepper not far behind him, is he?
No, he isn't, but it wasn't a great stop from Emil Frey Racing for Ben Green. It was 9 seconds at dead. Jordan Pepper had a 7.3, so he's gained 2.7 seconds. No, make that 1.7 seconds, dodgy maths, on Ben Green there. But that's not the quickest stop from Emil Frey Racing.
Now look at this, Green is out as the leading pit stopper, but he's been chased down here by Riccardo Fella and Marco Wittmann, and they've got their tyres up to temperature already. Then Luca Exler as well. So look, Ben Green is going to have to try and defend now on tyres that are not up to temperature, a car which is sliding all over the place. And Ben Green, potential win, potential podium under threat here, because Riccardo Fella is surely going to pounce and become the leading pit stopper. Yeah, he gets through all the way into turn 5. Then Marco Wittmann is going to snatch this Jazz, grab it with both hands somewhere in the next couple of corners, I reckon. It takes a lap to get your tyres up to temperature with no tyre heaters allowed in the DTM. The Ferrari is under huge pressure already. The BMW draws alongside. Marco tries to go all the way around the outside, almost into the gravel with his tyres, the front left side. Ben Green trying desperately to hang on to the inside here as his tyres get up to temperature. It's going to be side by side when they hit the brakes on the way up into the Vidal chicane, but the BMW has got the inside line, and the German driver just squeezes through to go second of the pit stoppers. So that's 2 places lost by Ben Green. That shows you how much of a difference a slow pit stop can make. That's done for him, really, as Lucas Howard now makes his pit stop from what was second place, but that was not good.
No.
At 9.7 seconds, that team are really good at their pit stops normally, Landgraf, but that wasn't a good one.
Wow, Ben Green made that car as wide as he dared. He did everything that he could, but Marco Wittmann, with those warm tyres, just had that pace while the tyres were getting into the window for Ben Green. Now Lucas Howard joins, lost a bit of ground as a result of a 9.7 second pit stop. Jack Aitken still to come in. Rene Rast up to third, but he too has yet to come into the pits. Car 16 under investigation, unsafe release from the pits. That's Timo Glock, who is under investigation. We saw that release as he came out into the pit lane, and he is now under investigation for that. In comes our race leader, Jack Aitken, into the pits.
Right, so Hours lost big time in that slow pit stop that he had. So Riccardo Fella is the leading pit stopper, just making his way through turn 7. Marco Wittmann is next. They've both got ahead of Ben Green, who's third of the pit stoppers. Then you've got the number 63 Lamborghini of Jordan Pepper, 4th. And then Lucas Howard at the moment 5th, but I think about to lose another position as he gets his tyres up up to speed on the run up towards the chicane. This then is the pit stop for Jack Aitken, and that's not great either. It's a slowish, not slowish, just average really, 8.5 seconds. So Emil Frey, it's not their best pit stop, but he had an advantage. Can he keep it now? There's a real chance of a Land Motorsport podium here for Ricardo Feller in the Audi, because out comes Jack Aitken as the leading pit stopper. But there is Ricardo Feller not far back. Maybe there might be a podium on the cards for Marco Wittmann as well, looking good in third place. So desperate lap this for Jack Aitken to try and keep the Audi behind him as we go back to Verena.
And I'm here with Maro Engel. A bad day for Maro, because first he had the penalty because of the incident with Thierry Vermeulen, and then unfortunately also he had to end the race. The damage was too bad?
Yeah, damage on the front left, just too much. But yeah, first of all, sorry to Thierry. It was my fault. So I got pushed off on the corner before, and I just yeah, underestimated how much dirt I picked up on the tires. And then when I hit the brakes, the car didn't stop. So sorry to Thierry. Obviously ruined his race as well. So yeah, not a great day.
All right, thank you very much, Maro. Back to you.
As we get the Audi in front of the Ferrari. So effectively the net leader, once all the pit stops are done, they're about to be completed because René Rast comes in, is Ricardo Feller. And I tell you what, he's just almost loses it under braking. He goes straight on. He got the right rear onto the grass, and the Ferrari of Jack Aitken gets back past him. Having done all that work to effectively get the lead of the race. Just a slight mistake, but he's still got his tyres coming up to temperature in the Ferrari, so it might be another chance here for Ricardo Feller to get the net lead of the race. It's going to become the lead of the race now with, to the left of the picture, let Rast into the pits. So this is for the win here, potentially. Still 20 minutes plus 2 laps to go. Aitken first, second place Feller, Wittmann in third place, and now Feller launches it. Throws caution to the wind, tries to go around the outside, gathers it back onto the track, then goes for it again at the inside of Jack Aitken, and Ricardo Feller into the lead of the race, but he goes wide again. Aitken tries to get back up the inside, there's a bit of contact, there's a bit more contact between them, and watch Marco Wittmann, watch Ben Green as well in fourth place. This is classic DTM racing, fantastic, but Ricardo Feller ends up in the lead of the race. Aitken has a look at the inside, backs off out of it, Wittmann in third, Green in fourth, and Ricardo Feller, a fantastic job after that slight mistake which caused him all the drama on the run-up towards the chicane. I'll tell you what, his pit stop was only a 7.9 second pit stop as well, Ricardo Feller.
Look at this.
As Ben Green dives at the inside of Marco Wittmann. He wants his first podium in the DTM. He's taking on a two-time champion. They trade pained work as they climb up the hill now. Head shortly towards the Vidal chicane, but the left-hander is the first part. The BMW will be perhaps on the best line, and he knows that. It's a big, broad BMW. And Marco Wittmann ain't going to give that place up easily, but Ben Green squeezes through over the curbs, through the second part of the chicane, and gets third place. What a race.
Wow, the first 5 cars, because Luca Exler is now joined, that's Jordan Pepper, I beg your pardon, now joining the battle as well. But Ricardo Feller knew he had to make that move within a couple of laps. He's done it, but can Jack Aitken do anything about it? But Ben Green closing in on them as well, but having to defend from Marco Wittmann. What an astonishing fight. The top 5 all glued together.
Are they re-energised after the summer break? Yes, yes is definitely the answer. What a race this is. But I was about to say, Ricardo Feller, his pit stop wasn't mega, you know, 7.9 seconds. He was only 0.6 quicker than Jack Aitken's pit stop, which tells me that the Swiss driver must have had a mega in and out lap.
Push me off, he pushed me off.
Yeah, copy mate, it's on the light feet, so head down. We're still fighting for the podium.
Marco Wittmann complaining there, Brian, pushed off by Ben Green. That's 2 cars fighting for one bit of track, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that was probably more a message for the stewards than anybody else. And that was that moment. Ricardo Feller clipped the dirt going into the chicane, lost the back end slightly, corrected it, gave it back to Jack Aitken. You can see he just went very wide on the right-hand side under braking. Aitken came through, but then Feller, you can see how much the audience are absolutely loving this. What great racing for the top 5 places. And Ben Green, just precision driving, putting that Ferrari exactly where he needs. That's the Emil Frey racing crew looking on. Of course, they've got 2 cars in the mix for this at the moment. But Ricardo Feller, anybody who thought the old Audi Audi R8 was done and dusted, he's like, hang on a second. Remember, this is the car he won the championship with in GT Masters in 2021, as Marco Wittmann now starts to show his nose to the inside of Ben Green. This is for 3rd place. So Ben Green in the red Emil Frey Racing Ferrari, now having to defend hard from the big BMW.
Yeah, Thierry Vermeulen continuing his progress up to 14th. He's just crossed the line side by side with Tom Callender and got ahead of him. But Arjamani is headed for the pits. Is the damage from the first part of the race too much for him as well? I fear it's going to be a retirement for the Indian driver. A real shame, because the car, despite all the gaffer tape, was going pretty well at one stage in that race. But like Jules Gounon, perhaps too much damage, and he's going to be the next retirement, I'm afraid. So, although he's dropped to 2nd place, Jack Aitken, because of that bad pit stop for Lucas Hauer, and Lucas dropping to 8th place, he's scoring less points than he would, of course, for the race win, but he's still scoring enough to move into the championship lead by 7 points, I reckon. Unofficial, that, of course. 124 points it would be for him, 117 for Hauer, and Jordan Pepper would be 3rd on 113, and that is definitely a retirement. All the gaffer tape in the world can't quite hold the Ford Mustang together.
Take that off and hang it on the wall. Right, black and white flag has been shown to Ben Green for forcing Marco Wittmann off the track. So that is a warning, but it's not a penalty in itself. So Ben Green lives to fight another day in 3rd place at the moment, but I don't think Wittmann is quite done yet, is he? Ricardo Feller, though, 7/10 clear of 2nd place Jack Aitken at the moment, but we've still got another quarter of an hour left of this race. Still plenty to come. Ben Doer doing a fairly solid job, a very solid job, in 7th place in that McLaren at the moment. He's got championship leader Lucas Hauer breathing down his neck.
Zandvoort 2023, the last DTM race win for Ricardo Feller 2 years ago, the year he was fighting for the championship title. So, and of course for Land Motorsport, they weren't expecting to be in the DTM this year because it was meant to be racing a Porsche in the championship this year. Ricardo Feller, having moved from Abt, that deal fell through at the last moment, so he got the old gang back together, the team with which he won the ADAC GT Masters Championship. And since the first round, he's had the car with which he won that championship with the Evo package upgrade. What a story it would be if he could win the race. I mean, it'd be a great story if he can get the podium. If he can win the race, it'll be mega. However, here comes a Ferrari. Here comes Mr. Jack Aitken, and the gap is reduced and reduced and reduced corner by corner. He's being charged down by not just one, but 2 Ferraris here.
Aitken is in the game of breaking hearts. Is he going to do that now for Ricardo Feller? He's going to get a slipstream as they head past the pits. It's absolutely flat out, keeping on Ben Green behind. Remember, he's got a lighter car than Jack Aitken. In towards turn 1 they come. Aitken, I think, is he a little bit too far back to make a move? Maybe not. He ducks to the inside, just off shot here. Ben Green in the background. There's Marco Wittmann. So, yeah, Aitken perhaps showing his nose. Not quite close enough, but starting to look like he could be in a position to challenge that Audi maybe next time around.
One thing we know for sure is that Ricardo Feller is not going to give the win up easily. We saw the demonstration of that with that massive battle they had for a lap and a half prior to him regaining the lead of the race. So he'll see this as a real opportunity. He's also not really thinking about championship points, is he, Ricardo Feller? No. He's not at the top end of the championship table, nor is Ben Green, whereas Jack Aitken has now got to start thinking about the championship potentially, as we get team radio from Marco Wittmann.
Okay, mate, so Green only got a black and white flag for pushing you off track, so only a warning.
Please, we didn't hear the response to that.
I was waiting for a very sweary reaction to that. Just silence.
Yes.
Well, it was worth an ask, I suppose,
yes.
Marco. But, yeah, just get a warning now. Is this Morris scouring? Yeah, but damage to the front right suspension, look. Yeah. So Morris with big suspension damage and a big move for the lead of the race here into the final corner. Jack Aitken goes for it. The Ferrari's alongside, but he's not yet in front. Ricardo Feller still just has his nose in front, but he's on the outside line for turn 1. He's going to have to stay there because that will give him the inside line for turn 2. And watch the red Ferrari of Ben Green. He'll try and get in between them if he can. But now Aitken just leads, but he goes deep into the corner, understeers massively, gets the lead of the race, takes with him his teammate into into second place and down to third place for the Ferrari. And the Nil Fry have a 1-2 on their hands as it stands.
Ben Green didn't know who to follow down the pit straight, did he? But look at Marco Wittmann also joining in as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, all running together. Fella now trying to come back at Ben Green. He needs to not get together with Jack Aitken. Aitken looks to have it in hand at the moment, breaking clear. But Wittmann wants to get involved. Also, Jordan Pepper there as well. This is still all to play for.
And there's a South African on the way to join the battle as well. His name's Jordan Pepper. He's catching him up in 5th place. A replay. This was last dash move into the chicane. Right, so we didn't see that bit, did we? Ricardo Fella had to take evasive action because that was a last-second dive up the inside from the Ferrari. So then he's got dirt on his tyres, which sends him wide into the next corner. Aitken then gets the job done. And then at the next corner, side by side, Fella tried to hang on, but basically holding on to the racing line and then giving a gap to his teammate. Aitken got the lead, Ben Green followed through, and Ricardo Fella is down to third, but it would still be a mighty podium if he can hang on to it.
I should think Emerald Fry Racing is saying stop the count because they are first and second. It's a British one too. Can't remember the last time I saw that in DTM. Right, Marco Wittmann just showing his nose to Ricardo Fella. That means that he's going to struggle to challenge Ben Green as hard as he might, because if he leaves a gap, then suddenly that big green BMW is going to be in there to fill it. A little bit of damage on the Audi just at the rear. Doesn't seem to be affecting him too much. Look at Ben Dorr, also there in the background. He's closing in with Lucas Auer as well. In fact, Lucas Auer's got past Ben Dorr up into 7th place. It feels like the top 8 are all compressing.
Torsten Schubert looking as chilled as ever there, and watching his driver Marco Wittmann try to get up onto the podium. Kicking the dust up wide is Ricardo Fella. He's wrestling that Audi a bit now in 3rd place, so he loses a bit of traction. He's going to have to fend off Marco Wittmann. He's also going to have to fend off Jordan Pepper no time soon, and then he's got to try not to lose distance to the 2 Ferraris, because he still might fancy his chances. Kind of hanging on to Ben Green, isn't he, but not to Jack Aitken. So Aitken with that 5 extra points now will be, already was going to be, but will be the championship leader for sure. Lucas Auer has gained a place into 7th on this lap, though, ahead of Ben Durr, so that will help his cause a little bit, give him an extra championship point. Ben Durr down to 8th place, Rast is 9th, Preining is 10th, Glock, Powell, Tim, Callender and Vermeulen are the other point scorers, rounding out the top 15 as it stands. Remember, there's an extra lap in this race now because we lost one to safety car. So once the 55 minutes has elapsed, there'll be 2 laps on top of that, not just 1. And here comes Marco Wittmann closing up to Ricardo Fella there in the Audi. But the Audi's definitely kind of hanging on to Ben Green, isn't he, in 2nd place?
He is, but now having to look more in the rear-view mirror than he is in front. Of course, Marco Wittmann has got his own problems in the shape of Jordan Pepper. He's always there, isn't he? And he is closing in on that BMW as well. They are well clear of Luca Engster and Lucas Auer. Auer, who got past Ben Durr, so that's a few more points the way of Lucas Auer if the race finished now. So he's still pushing forwards. Ricardo Fella holds the fastest lap of the race, the 1:26.874. But at the moment, advantage Aitken. Now, how hard is Ben Green going to, or indeed allowed to push in that 2nd place?
Yeah, it's a good question about when was the last time was there a British 1-2 in the DTM. I think I haven't got the stat and I dare take my eyes off the screen, but I think you've probably got to go back to the days of Gary Paffett and Jamie Green, haven't you, to find a 1-2 for British drivers in the championships. It's a while ago. We'll get the stat if we need to get the stat, because the race isn't done yet. 8 3/4 minutes to go. And Ricardo Fella still hanging in there. Marco Wittmann and Jordan Pepper inching up towards the back of him, though. But this is a great effort, isn't it, for Ricardo and for Land Motorsport in what is really a pretty old car, isn't it, that race car, Eileen?
It's an antique, and it's already won a championship.
Let's do your best.
Yeah, managing properly.
It's so obvious. I mean, we will see after the race. And it's also insane that BOP change and 20 kilos success follows, and they're still pulling away like crazy.
Yes.
Messages.
Ricardo's race engineer kind of having a conversation with Ricardo, but kind of also making his point known to SRO, who look after the BOP. It's Fabio Vassa, who worked with him, with Ricardo, at the year he finished third in the championship. So those two have got a great relationship. He's certainly brought some experience into the Land Motorsport team with him, Ricardo fella, and saying, yeah, like he's got this success ballast on and he's still winning. And why is that Ferrari so much quicker than us? But we know that they all complain about BOP, don't they? Apart from the guy that wins the race.
I think whatever the outcome of this race, I have a feeling those Ferraris might be a bit heavier tomorrow anyway.
Well, Jack Aitken said as much to me. He said, well, you know what's going to happen. We've got pole, we've got 3 cars in the top 4 in qualifying. It's going to happen, he said.
Yeah.
So it's just part of how it works. Sometimes we benefit, sometimes we don't.
Well, how many times, has it maybe gone the other way where they've had a ton of weight thrown at them when they felt as though it was undeserved? But they've got the SRO and the people who organise the BOP have all the stats, they have all the data. This is not worked out on the back of a fag packet. This is a proper complex equation to work out the BOP to make sure these cars are equal. And if they think it's not level, they will level it up tomorrow as we look at championship leader for the time being, Lucas Auer. But is he about to lose that championship lead? We're going to find out in about 6.5 minutes plus 2 laps. So at the moment, Jack Aitken, he's a second clear, just under a second clear of Ben Green. Looks to have it under control. Anything could happen, though.
Well, in fairness, the Ferraris have the same BOP weight as they had at the Nürburgring. They're actually 10 kilograms heavier than they were at this race last year. And they've never been on the podium here before. As I said, Jack Aitken's best result here is a 5th. And they've got a bit less boost as well. So here we go, battle for 4th. Whoa, shake the back end of that Lamborghini out. The TGI Grassa Lamborghini being driven by Jordan Pepper to its absolute max as he gets side by side now with Marco Wittmann and goes for the move, gets in front. But we know what's going to happen at the chicane. The BMW is going to come back at him for the left-right sequence that comes up through turns 9 and 10. Will 2 fit into 1? Just about takes the curbs, but great racing by both of them. Hard but fair, that, and Jordan Pepper gets through. And look, Luca Exler is now in the mix as well.
And so is Lucas Auer. I think Jordan Pepper should have a little career in drifting when this is all done and dusted. So Marco Wittmann, the filling in a Grassa sandwich. He's got 1 in front and 1 behind, but Lucas Auer sizing up all of them in front of him. He is aware of the championship lead. Marco Wittmann just showing his nose on the inside into turn 1. It wasn't really a challenge, but Luca Exler fancies an opportunity because he is looking the racier of the 3 that he is racing in front of him, but behind him, Lucas Auer just there, ready to jump.
René Rast coming after Ben Durr for 8th place as well. The blue tube at BMW half a second quicker on the previous lap, and they're not far behind this battle. So if they'll start holding each other up, there'll be another 2 cars joining them, the McLaren and the second of the BMW's replay of this.
This is
fantastic racing by both drivers, by Jordan Pepper and by Marco Wittmann. That's what DTM racing is all about. Hard but fair. Yeah, maybe a bit of contact, but nothing ridiculous there. And both drivers giving each other just enough room. That was well done.
Yeah, absolutely. A real demonstration of skill and respect. Right, Lucas Auer doesn't want to show any respect to Luca Exler because he's trying to fight past. He's been looking ready to do that for a fair amount of time, bouncing off each other. But Luca Exler, with the straight line speed, under braking, still holding that into the chicane. But I think as they come out of the final turn onto the pit straight, he may well be vulnerable. But now René Rast in the background as well to the inside of Ben Durr. So René Rast pushing forwards. Those BMWs coming alive towards the end of this race. Out along the pit straight, Lucas Auer hasn't made the challenge yet as we head in towards turn 1.
Our editor, Marcus, is going to be very busy trying to make highlights out of all of this later on because there's a lot of them. What a race this has been. It's the race that keeps on giving, everybody. 3 3/4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. René Rast with that move now up to 8th place. Ben Durr in 9th position. Big gap back then to Tommy Pryning with all that weight on the car running in 10th place. Aitken leads. He's 0.7 of a second clear of Green. 126.9 on the last lap for, sorry, a 127.9 for Aitken on the last lap, a 127.8, a 10.5 quicker for Green. So he hasn't given up on the win yet, Ben Green. Ricardo Feller in 3rd, Jordan Pepper 4th, Marco Wittmann 5th, Exler 6th, Auer 7th, Rast 8th, and then Durr and Pryning 9th and 10th. Lucas Auer, though, wants to come forwards in this race. He's got a championship to think of. he might lose the championship lead for the first time this season at the end of this race to the driver that currently leads the race. Jack Aitken and Lucas Auer knows that every single point might just make a difference at the end of the season. So this is where he's got to try and go for it, having lost those places and a potential podium, remember, due to that slow pit stop.
So 6th place is what he is tracking down at the moment. Out of the chicane, out onto the pit straight they will come. So has Luca Engstler got the straight line speed as they head out of turn 11 and out along past the pits? That long stretch, the best overtaking opportunity. So Lucas Auer will get something of a slipstream from the Lamborghini in front, but Engstler looks to have him covered off at that point, looking to the inside, but I think Engstler very much under control, keeps it all steady under braking. He's looking in front, not at the mirrors. Then into turn 2 they come. So Lucas Auer, if he wants to get past Luca Engstler, is probably going to have to do it at some point that's not into turn 1.
So more battles to be had, more places to swap, more points up for grabs. René Rast having a good charge through the order. Schubert and the BMWs at one point this season looked like they'd sorted out their qualifying woes, struggling to get the tyres up to temperature, but they started to get good qualifyings. But the last 2 events haven't been particularly good in qualifying. You had to see them fighting back up through the order in the races. But there is no doubting the pace in the races of those BMWs, with from 14th to 5th now for Marco Wittmann. He was knocking on the door of a podium for a while as well. And René Rast now climbing up the order from a lowly grid to 8th position. They see scatterings of gravel from the drivers that have run wide there, probably in that first couple of laps of the race, which were frantic. And now the battle for the final spot on the podium. It looks like the Ferraris have gone up the road. That gap looks like it maybe is coming down a bit more between Aitken and Green. So it's all about Feller now trying to hang on to a famous podium for Land. They're first in the championship, but Jordan Pepper wants the podium and he wants the championship points as well.
And what a famous podium it would be if he could hold on to it. Ben Green keeping Jack Aitken in sight, but not really challenging. Jordan Pepper starting to look pretty racy in that 4th place as he has a little look to the inside of Ricardo Feller into turn 1. Feller has him covered off at the moment. 45 seconds remaining on the clock, so it'll be what remains of this lap, plus 2 more after that, and then this race will be over. So can Ricardo Feller hold off the Lamborghini behind him? A message from race control. We've seen that, the black and white flag to Jordan Pepper for forcing Marco Wittmann off in turn 10.
So just a warning for that move. And there we see Nicky Thiem trying to get up the order if he can in this race. We've got the battle for 12th place days with him and Max Powell. We've got the time that's about to run out on this lap. So there'll be 2 more to go at the end of this lap. So 2 more laps, 7.2 kilometres at the end of this one. 3 seconds left on the clock. And they're just making their way, the leaders, into the chicane. The gap, 0.7 of a second at the start of the lap. And just slightly quicker through the first sector for Jack Aitken on this lap. Through the second sector they go. Yeah, it looks still to be about 7/10 of a second. So time's down to 0. 2 laps of the race to go. Jack Aitken looking for his 6th win in the championship. Ben Green looking for his first podium in the championship. Emil Frey looking for their first one too. You have to feel for Thierry Vermeulen. He keeps getting these great positions in qualifying, and the win won't quite come his way. He was desperately unlucky. We heard Maro Engel apologising for just misjudging as he came back onto the track with dirty tyres, and he was the one that clipped the back of Vermeulen. He's clearly got a car which is injured. He's going to get 1 point, and that's it for 15th place. The Dutch driver has been pretty unlucky a few times in the last couple of years.
Just off screen, we saw Jordan Pepper challenging Ricardo Feller on the outside into turn 1. Further back, Jordan Pepper's teammate Luca Engstler has got his attention occupied by Lucas Auer behind him. And that is that challenge for the last of the podium positions. Jordan Pepper, once again, you get the feeling those rear tyres might be a little bit short.
Let's hear from Jordan.
Please check if you can do it clean.
Do it if you can do it clean, he said. Well, he's got to try and get 550 brake horsepower, nearly 600 horsepower on that Lamborghini, down with tyres which are pretty old now, these Pirelli slick tyres. And Ricardo Feller doesn't make many mistakes. Here comes Lucas Auer, though, drawing alongside Luca Engstler. Knows in front for the Mercedes, but he's on the wrong line. Engstler knows it. He's behind, but now into the braking zone. He should be able to get the place back. The Lamborghini you're on board with now, and onto the grass goes Auer. He comes out ahead. You got the BMW of René Rast getting stuck in as well. So Engstler loses 2 places, but he might complain about the fact that Lucas Auer went onto the grass, but Lucas will say, look, I've nowhere to go. and there might be a discussion after the race about that. But on the last lap of the race, Jack Aitken and Ben Green, the gap remains at 0.7 of a second.
How hard is Ricardo Fella holding on? He'd be quite happy if this race was a lap shorter, I should think. Lucas Auer, though, yes, he will argue that he had nowhere to go. Certainly, I think Luca Engstler might have something to say about that, but it's allowed the cars behind to close in. You've got Ben Durr and Thomas Preining in there as well. He fancies a few more points as this race closes.
Yeah, with just about 3 kilometres to go, he's onto the back of Ben Durr's McLaren now. And there he goes up, Tommy Preining. So here we go, the battle into turn 5 for the final podium, the final lap of the race. And Ricardo Fella, for now, hanging on to it. Here is Preining on the attack, but not yet finding a way through. Through turn 7 now for the final time for the two Ferraris of Jack Aitken and Ben Green in first and second positions. Ricardo Fella will be having his eye on the mirrors and trying to hang on to this third place. If he can get through the chicane, he can probably get the job done. In the background, he's about a car length clear of Jordan Pepper. Will he still be a car length clear when they get into the chicane? They're in the background. He's made it. He's still third. So Ricardo Fella looks like he's going to get a brilliant podium here. But Jack Aitken comes through the final corner and is about to win the first race of the second half of the season. Win number 6 in the DTM for Jack Aitken. Emil Freitagel 1-2. Ben Green gets his first ever DTM podium. Ricardo Fella and Land Motorsport together get their first podium of the season, the first podium for the team in the championship.
Aitken, Green, Fella, Pepper, Wittmann, Auer is under investigation. Check, thank you.
Yeah, Auer under investigation for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
It's a shame for Thierry, but yeah, apology.
That's the measure of the man, isn't it? The first thing Jack Aitken says is thank you to the team. And what a shame it was for my teammate Thierry Vermeulen. Those two get on well. There was a lot of respect between them after qualifying this morning. They both smiled and said, that was close, wasn't it? It certainly was. 46 thousandths between them in qualifying. But it's Jack Aitken waving to the fans, waving to the marshals now, who picks up the race victory and also with it picks up the championship lead from Lucas Auer. Jack with his second win of the season.
Well done. You did an amazing job. Enjoy the moment.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Feels like a long time now, okay? Well done, guys.
Well, I chatted with Ben after qualifying, and as I said, he was a bit disappointed with 4th place, but he also said, yeah, we've got the whole second half of the season to come now, and yeah, we'll see what we can do, see how high up the order we can get in the championship. He's started the second half of the season brilliantly. Let's hear from Ricardo Fella.
Good job, everyone. Thank you very much. This feels more than a victory, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. I think we did a half miracle today.
I agree too. That does feel like it. I mean, nearly got the win, didn't he, at one point? He gave it absolutely everything. There's Lucas Auer. He will keep his 6th place under investigation for leaving the track and gaining an advantage, but he is not going to be penalised. That message has come on the screen. He'll say, nowhere to go, was that? So I had to go on the grass, or there would have been contact. And then Lucas will come through and get 6th place, but he will lose the championship lead. So Aitken, Green and Fella through on the podium. Pepper coming through to 4th. Wittmann in 5th, and Auer rounds out the top 6. And yeah, first podium for Ben Green, first podium for Land Motorsport. Ricardo Fella's first podium since the Lausitz Ring last year. And Jack Aitken with his first podium at this track in the DTM. And he's gone straight to the top step of the podium. He takes the victory at the Nürburgring. This was René Rast coming through. Luca Engstler dropped to 8th place on that final lap of the race. It was otherwise looking like a good one. So Aitken provisionally with a 10-point lead in the championship over Lucas Auer, who is not the championship leader for the first time this season, having won round 1 of the championship. Jordan Pepper 3rd. He's only 4 points behind him on 115. And then Thomas Preining 5th. Maro Engel didn't score any points, and so down to 6th place and remaining on 101 points. And a very, very happy Jack Aitken. A British 1-2, but also a Swiss 1-2. Emil Frey Racing for the first time in DTM get a 1-2 finish.
Crack out the Dexys Midnight Runners for Ricardo Fella, a Swiss 1-2 and a Swiss driver in 3rd place as well. But, well, I thought the Lausitz Ring race was going to take a bit of beating. I think that one might go down as my favourite of the year. That was action-packed.
Yeah, Brilliant, absolutely brilliant, wasn't it? A bit too action-packed on the first lap, admittedly. Then we had the red flag. But after that, it was superb, wasn't it? Mega. As I say, you've got to feel really sorry for those drivers that dropped out. Jules Gounon with the damage. Bit unlucky to pick up that accident between Vermeulen and Engel. Vermeulen, you've got to feel sorry for him. Obviously, the car capable of a podium there, because the other two are on the podium, and he was up there fighting for a podium, maybe fighting for his first win. So Thierry's going to be absolutely gutted after this race, but his day is going to come, Thierry Vermeulen. He's driving really well at the moment, just needs a bit less bad luck. Ben Green certainly had some bad luck. Remember his debut qualifying session at Oschersleben in the DTM. He got pole position. We thought, blimey, he's going to be a winner already, potentially. But then the car, due to some confusion with change regulations to do with the weight and to do with onboard cameras, was just fractionally underweight, and therefore had to start the race at the back of the grid. But he's worked his way up in what is a tough championship. 6th place at the Nürburgring last time out. Now on the podium in 2nd place. And driving very well, the former DTM Trophy champion, and a driver that came up in the UK through the Ginetta package, Ginetta Junior racer when he was just a teenager in 100 brake horsepower Ginettas, then a runner-up in the Ginetta Super Cup Championship, his first foray into GT4 machinery. And here he is now on the podium in the DTM. Confirmation then of the results: Jack Aitken and Ben Green at 1st and 2nd. Ricardo Feller with a mighty effort to come home in 3rd place to round out the podium, with Pepper, Wittmann, Auer, Rast, Engstler, Durr and Preining the other finishers in the top 10. 11th place to Timo Glock, which is his 2nd best result of the season. So positive upturn for Timo so far this weekend. Max Powell got himself up into the points as well. He came through to finish in 12th place, got ahead of Nicky Tim in the closing stages. He was 13th. Tom Callender and Thierry Vermeulen rounding out the point scoring finishes. Let's get some post-race reaction now from Verena.
And I'm here with a very happy Ben Green. Congratulations, it's your first podium in DTM. 2nd place, also a double victory for your team. So you've got to be absolutely exciting. And you just said your heart rate on your watch was on 200, right?
Yeah, it was really pushing it. It was trying to keep Jack honest and give a good race. So very happy for the team, obviously, great result. And also personally, it's been a difficult year, but we made a great result today.
Yeah, and I mean, you were pushing really hard. I mean, I was waiting for you to overtake, but I guess in the end it was only 2nd place. But how excited are you for your first podium?
Yeah, very. I mean, it's fantastic. So I was just super happy for the team. Everyone's been working so hard, and I gave my best, and looking forward to tomorrow.
So are we. Thank you so much, Ben. Back to you.
Mate, if your heart rate was on 200, think about the poor 50-year-old commentator trying to watch all that going on. Mine must have been about 4,000 in that race. I was still just about alive, though. What a race that was. And I'll take you back to yesterday, Brian. Ricardo Feller, free practice. The car ground to a halt.
Yes.
Had to be pushed back down the pit lane, lost loads of time. They got it going again at the end of the session. He popped up into 4th place. If you told him when he was being pushed down the pit lane, oh, by the way, tomorrow, Ricardo, you're going to get onto the podium, I'm not sure he'd believe that, would he?
No, and I was looking at that 1, 2, 3, and I was thinking, I don't think that 1, 2, 3 was on anybody's bingo card coming into this weekend. And I know it's a story we've mentioned many times over, but that car Ricardo Feller is driving is the very same car he won the GT Masters Championship with in 2021. It's been in a museum for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and well, stayed a good car, hasn't it? And what a job the team has done. What a job Ricardo Feller has done as well. Unexpected to be together in this championship. And I'd say it's not a massive surprise, because he's had some pace all the way through the season, the team has, and things have gone slightly wrong at times. But Ricardo Feller, we know he's a quality driver. It's good to see him back up there on the podium, isn't it?
Absolutely, very deserving, and he's had a tough start to the year, the first half of the season, so really good. As you mentioned, we were due to be seeing him in a Porsche, and that's what he's most familiar with at the moment, is driving a Porsche in other categories. But here at DTM, he's in the old Audi, and he's proven there's life in the old dog yet.
Yeah, the sole Audi in the championship, but it still works, doesn't it? So fantastic scenes, big smiles for Jack Aitken then, your race winner, your new championship leader. What a way to do it as well. I mean, even Jack, who was kind of out of all the drama for most of that race, even he had to get stuck in the end. That great battle that he had with Ricardo Feller, and then fending off Ben Green. It's going to be a noisy podium, this, I think, Brian.
It is. everyone deserving their position. So Ricardo Fella onto the third step. As he said, it feels like a bit of a win. It looks like one as well. It's first time we've seen Ben Green on the podium here in the DTM. I remember his back-to-back wins in the GT Masters on the same weekend a few years ago, but great to see him on the DTM podium. And Jack Aitken is not his first time on the top step of the podium, but I think it's his first time leading the championship.
Yes, absolutely right. Yeah, and he's been getting higher and higher at the championship. 3 seasons now, including this one in the championship. The consistency hasn't been there until this year. Now the consistency from the team very much is. Remember, they and the Ferrari 296 were also new to the championship a few years ago as well. And it's tough. There's only a second between everybody in free practice and in qualifying. Let's hear then the British national anthem. Jack Aitken, your race winner, round 9 of DTM 2025. And if we get a better race than that this season, Brian, we're going to be very lucky, boys.
Yeah, we would be. We thought we were going to struggle to beat the Lausitz rig, didn't we? Great to see the team smiling. Saw Jack's wife also watching on. Real team effort as Dr. Gert Enser, the ADAC Sport President, awards the trophy to Jack Aitken. Boy, did he have to work for that one, but he really, really does deserve it.
Yeah, and it got hotter and hotter in that race as well. It's 27 degrees now, so it's around about 55 degrees in the cockpits of these race cars. So, I mean, Jack tends to win, but it's his first ever win at the Lausitz rig. It was 1,000,000 degrees, wasn't it? So, good job. He's a very, very fit racing driver. And Bernd Kurzweg now presenting our next trophy. And it is headed to Ricardo Fella. He's had these before, 7 podiums, but the team has never been on the podium because they've never been in the championship up until this year. Land Motorsport. Hopefully they'll have some time to celebrate tonight because they absolutely deserve it. Thomas Michel from Pirelli is now about to present another fantastic DTM looking trophy. This one is for the team and for Emil Frey Racing. Not only did they win, they got a 1-2. They were brilliant in qualifying as well, and but for the bad luck for Vermeulen, maybe they could have had all 3 up on the podium. They also now are with a driver that leads the championship. So they all go onto the top step of the podium, smiles all around. The last race of the day will be to see who opens the champagne on time. It's not going to be the chap on the right, I suspect. He's about to get absolutely covered because the other 3 have got a bit more experience at this. So guess what? Yeah, he's got splattered. We go on board with the champagne. Fantastic view of the celebrations there. And they are all applauded because that was brilliant to watch. As you said, Brian, 3 drivers deserving of their podium finishes.
I never thought we could go on board with a bottle, but there we go. That is the view. As you say, the celebrations better unpack the ballast tonight, chaps. The celebrations will continue. It's a fresh day tomorrow. Of course, we'll have qualifying tomorrow morning. Assuming it's not too foggy, we'll be doing that at the normal time. And we will be doing it all again tomorrow. I bet you it's a different 3 drivers on the podium at the end of it. But what a race. That was an astonishing way to start the second half of the season.
Yeah, and Jack's going to have even more success ballast on now, isn't he? Because he had the ballast for finishing second at the Norris Ring today. That gets doubled now, so whatever happens with BOP, he's going to have 20 kilograms on board of success ballast. So as we look at some highlights, and there are many of them in that race, let's get some more from Verena.
Yep. And I'm here with the winner, Jack Aitken. Congratulations, not only from pole to victory, also you're the championship leader in the second half of the DTM season. So I want to see that big smile. How excited are you? There it is.
Yeah, I'm super happy. I mean, it's a really cool thing to get a 1-2 as a team. Ben did a great job, and you know, Ricky surprised us a little bit in the pit stop. He had a great speed at that time. but with the fresher tyres, I was able to do the move, and it was really fun racing. So pleased.
And honestly, I mean, the whole time you were in the front, obviously all the disaster in the back, you didn't even notice. And then there was Ricciardo, and all of a sudden he overtook you. I mean, you had a heart rate at that point that was, whoops, skyrocketing, right?
For sure. I mean, I came out the box and I saw him immediately in the mirrors, and I thought, wow, it's going to be really tough to keep him behind, and he managed to pass. But his tyres were much older, which worked out well for us. But even when I was past, we were pushing like crazy, and to see the whole line of cars behind us fighting all the time, it was tense, yeah.
But you did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much, Jack. Congratulations again, and here are the commentators.
Thanks, Farina. Great to hear from Jack Aitken. You can see why he's such a popular figure in the paddock with the fans. He's a really top guy, Jack Aitken. Always gives his time. Always really a positive energy from him as well. And he leads a Ferrari 1-2 in this first race of the weekend. And Emil Frey Racing 1-2. So Italians happy, Swiss happy, British are happy with the 1-2 drivers. And Germany's happy as well, because Ricardo Feller, driving for Land Motorsport, got that podium. And pretty good day all round for Switzerland, as you said, with their team represented on the podium twice, Emil Frey Racing, and their driver also on the podium, Ricardo Feller, who was absolutely exceptional, wasn't he, in that race? So, hope you enjoyed our coverage. If you didn't enjoy that race, there's something wrong with you. It was fantastic. So, from Brian Oliver and me, Chris Hart, in the commentary box, we'll speak to you again tomorrow. Back to Verena.
What a phenomenal first race here at the Nürburgring. We saw so much action, we saw fighting. What a tough battle up there in the front. And now, of course, we're looking forward to tomorrow's race. It's going to be exciting, that's for sure. And now here are the highlights. Enjoy, see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.